Hey everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4000 Week for Reich's India. Let us continue on from where we at last left off. So the Indian Congress, we're about halfway done. And again, we are very much supporting Bose for another session in as leader of the Congress, leader of the INC. Labor Day. May 1st is an important day for the workers across the globe, as it marks Labor Day, the celebration of the achievement of workers, especially in socialist countries like India. Both the government as well as the public have organized events to commemorate this, highlighting the achievements of socialism in India, while also saluting the positions of workers in common society. From Gujarat to Bengal, workers have held long festivities, alongside demonstrations held not against the government, but against the capitalist bourgeois that still oppress and control workers in various countries across the world. With the fall of the USSR and the survival of the Soviet warlords in question, India remains as the bastion of socialism and the revolution, as the hopes of an international revolution and socialist utopia remains, despite the challenges the country has faced. Unfortunately, I thought we'd maybe get, like, a little, 5 political power, just like a little something to kind of entice us, but unfortunately, does not seem to be the case. The Delux Comet debuts. At London Heathrow Airport, a commercial aircraft accelerates along the runway, an increasingly common sight, before taking off on a journey towards Johannesburg, South Africa. However, the flight is anything but ordinary, as the familiar drone and propellers is replaced by the roar of jet engines. After a long, costly development and testing period, the British-designed Delux Comet, the world's first jet airliner, has taken off on its first commercial flight. Undoubtedly, this is a great achievement for Britain and helps propel its civilian aviation capabilities to a new jet era ahead of any other country. But competition will inevitably follow. And the Africans. India has a precedent to all oppressed people of the world. An example of that liberation can only be achieved through armed struggle and a total mobilization of society against the imperialist colonizers. Africa, a continent that has been endlessly exploited and enslaved by the Western powers for the last century, is starting to grow unstable as local independence movements are gaining traction among the local population. We must, as a leading nation among the colonized people, support African independence through any means necessary, be it through the pen or the gun. That our continent must be freed from its chains. Question is only how strongly we should push the issues on the world stage. Supporting African independence movements covertly is one thing, but full-throated support for Pan-Africanism could go too far in antagonizing the West. It may not be advantageous. Besides this, worthy of note is the fact that many of these nations, particularly those situated in the east of the continent, harbor large communities of Indian expats, most of which work as administrators or businessmen. We could decide to concentrate our diplomatic efforts to support these groups. We do not forget our own. We should not violate any diplomatic norms, or long live free Africa. Of course, we will support all, we can send revolutionary volunteers to Congo. 80 political power and 50 armed. That's actually really expensive to get done. I don't even know what benefit we'd actually get for actually winning. We do see that there is now a German tank, which is worrying. What about you? Fuel. Stockpile is empty. Fuel capacity, civilian demands, max consumption. We need fuel. Okay. I'm just realizing this now. Okay, so we need to go to trade, oil, friendly country. How much we need? We need 880. So 2 is 1.2k. Okay. So there we go. We fixed our oil issue. Iraq and Jordan unite. The two hegemonic kingdoms of Iraq and Jordan had finally agreed on the terms of unification into the United Arab Kingdoms, known as the Arab Federation or the Arab Union. The new confederation, despite being very loose and essentially leaving both countries the same within themselves, will unite the two on the world stage and in terms of foreign and military affairs. It will be held as both monarchs. It'll be held by both monarchs as both move forward towards the Arab unity, as well as the moves to defend both countries against outside threats. Threats that could come from rising powers in the Middle East, like Syria, or from foreign powers attempting to assert influence on the region without from without. I can read. I mean, it is midnight. Actually, it's 1 a.m. where I am right now. That's okay. Democracy in America. Although America stands as a prime example of its people fighting against colonialism, its blatant imperialism, and the ethnic cleansing it carried out in the 19th century, and more recently its alliance with Britain, leaves a black mark on its reputation. As one of the countries with the most power in the world, the INC must carefully deliberate on what stance it will take in regards to America. While some see the INC see America as a firm British ally and therefore not to be trusted, others have noted that America has nominally set its stance against colonialism and does, at least from time to time, openly support anti-colonial movements. Setting down the INC's future policy towards America is vital for determining India's place in the world. Okay. Friend of my enemy is my enemy. Maybe a worthwhile ally against colonialism or domestic concerns are paramount. You know what? Let's be enemy of my enemy. We don't need to be friends with the United States. I was thinking about maybe using them, do a little bit of realpolitik, but then you know what? Fuck them, actually. I think we realized we don't care. So this is for the Constitutional Republic, who I don't really want to support too much. I mean, obviously we have sent troops there, but unfortunately, we need some light tanks. I mean, okay, I will throw light tanks in here. We'll throw in the Valentine, and then we'll take one away from infantry equipment. But we're still down rifles. I mean, I know we're not building new units, which is something that I do want to get done eventually. It's going to be kind of difficult to do. The future of socialism. If India is to become a true socialist nation under the INC, the party must decide on what path of socialism it must follow. One that would stand to create an equal society that promises prosperity to all. Currently, 3 main opinions have become popular among party members, all of which have different ideals for what a socialist India would look like. Some argue that the revolution can only come from the urban proletariat, as according to Marxist writings, and that their interests must come first. Others, however, point out that India's special conditions means that the proletariat is not suitable to lead a revolution, but rather India's large peasant population. A third opinion, proposes a more internationalist view, and the revolution class shall come from the global oppressed, focusing on INC's goals internationally rather than domestically. Although this is certainly an unorthodox perspective, it has gained popularity with some of the Trotskyist-influenced members of the party, as well as some of the more radical members. Only comes from the proletariat, and you know what? Socialism can only be achieved by the colonized. So get that one going. Again, we're going to be supporting separatists no matter what. The thing is, you're crossing a river, which I do not want to do. And you both go into the mountains, which is also something I don't want to do. But almost everywhere here goes into the mountains. Which is, like, not great. For pretty obvious reasons. Is that fighting in mountains sucks? I don't know if you know this or not, but it's not a fun time. Burma has declared war on Red Burma. And the end of the Congress session. After a very broad and fruitful discussion, the debate proportion of the INC Congress has come to an end. The voting is set to begin. And the winner of the election for the leader of the party will soon be announced. Okay, so you've declared war on Red Burma. You are revolutionary communist. You're Trotskyist. No, I don't know. Are we Trotskyists? I don't know if we are. Can I send you any volunteers? Local armed organization. Revolution. Maybe we'll probably get like an event about this, I would have to imagine. Because it seems pretty important for kind of our goals here. Okay, Bose has been reelected. The INC Congress has reaffirmed its support for Subhas Chandra Bose as leader of the party, and elected many of his supporters into high positions. With this expected decision, India will continue its path our leader set out for it. Bose is favoring of the centralized Indian state, a powerful party, and a continued strong commitment to India's leadership in the world of anti-colonial revolution will continue to be the state's guiding policies. Okay, 15% more support for our party. Italy has won the EFC. Congratulations to Italy. I'm sure you've earned it. Leader of the Unfree World. That'll support the Asian Bureau, 2 tigers facing off, Sino-Indian relations, Tame the Dragon. What do we have here? The new Satangyara, which I do not know what the hell that actually means, but you know what? Because I don't know what it means, we're going to take it first. I think it only makes sense. We're never going to promise peace. Get that shit out of here. I'm surprised, because again, this influences Burma. The Union of Burma. Does not influence the small revolutionary state. What about you? Sino-Indian military delegation, 15 more resources. I will spend the 50 political power on that, and then I will also get you. And then, let's do more peasant agitation. I think that seems good. DPC influence is currently at 3.2. Which is still pretty low. They're actually down to 1.33. They've actually lost support. And Malayan National Liberation Army is going to war the Federation of Malaya. So that is Marxist-Leninism. But again, 2 people I would want to support. The Malayan Emergency. An insurgency that has already been rumbling for several years now has been escalated. In Malaya, communist forces loyal to the Communist Party and its Malayan National Liberation Army, bolstered by communist Chinese exiles and Vietnamese volunteers and supporters, have expanded the guerrilla conflict against the British-controlled Malayan government into a full-blown rebellion, seizing swaths of territory in the thick jungle in the north of the country. The British and their allies in Malaya are rushing to respond to the rapid uprising, but it should have the upper hand. Most believe the uprising will be put down sooner or later, but the scale shows possible weakness in British authority in its territories around the world nonetheless. Hey, we got a free troop. We'll send you the Red Army for now. Okay, I want to see if we can maybe take at least one province. Spain has one in Morocco, which is fine. Can I send you volunteers? No. Unfortunately, not yet. Again, I influence Cambodia, Sudan Civil War. Sending volunteers to Congo. Are you revolutionary? You're social democratic. Left-wing populism. I mean, if I had the points, I would probably do it, but I just don't have the political power, and I definitely do not have the command power right now. Okay, Conservatives have won the UK election. Congratulations to them. Only contested countries. Only put countries that are also being targeted by other nations. No, I think I do want to see everything. At least for the time being, I want to see everything possible. Civil unrest in Bulgaria. Bulgaria's fascist regime under Hristolokov has been in power with Germany and Italian backing for over a decade, but has never truly taken full control of the state. Similar to the government in Rome, Lukov rules not as a supreme dictator, but as the prime minister of a kingdom. The monarchists, a broad group of opposition establishment figures, have clung on to much power despite Lukov's best efforts. The balance of power had, however, maintained itself, at least until the recent economic collapse into the country. Anger over poor conditions have boiled over into a significant protest and rioting, supported not so subtly by the monarchists, which if left unchecked threatened to topple Lukov's government. Well, presumably then Germany will intervene there sooner rather than later. Sure, let's go for countrywide improvements, so that's what's going to actually allow us to research into free factories, which I do like. For any like Cold War based mod, I think there should be more researches based on just giving you factories and stuff like that. You know, for any campaign where there's not going to actively be much warfare, I think having researches that do stuff outside of military upgrades makes sense. You know, I'm not saying to get rid of the military upgrades. I think they're still going to be important. But there should be some more... I don't know, there should be something more in kind of these kind of research trees. Combined operation. No, let's go for asymmetric. I think that seems okay for us. You guys have low supplies. I'm honestly not too sure why you do. Aung San's been assassinated. The Prime Minister of Burma was killed by a lone gunman while delivering a speech in downtown Yangon. Aung San was fatally shot in the right lung, causing his death within minutes. Though Burmese authorities are already trying to find the assassin, there's several theories regarding the motivation behind the action. Some have speculated that this is related to Aung San's intention to further federalize the country. Following the assassination, Deputy Prime Minister Thakin Maya has assumed the deputies of the late Aung San. Ooh, we can do some more Burma things here now. I mean, it says it. I mean, we're already influencing them. Yeah, +1. We already have 1 point in them. Can I please intervene? And because you're at war, right? It says you are 1-2 versus 10-19. I don't actually know how you're still alive. Khasi Hills Autonomous District Council. In the remote northeast of the country, the local administrative body, the Khasi Hills Autonomous District Council, has been established, led by a local Highlander group. This new administrative district will allow better coordination of political projects in the region and stronger reputation for the local groups. The Assam state has approved the creation of the new council and has the national government in Delhi. We congratulate our comrades. So that is presumably up here in like Kashmir. I would have to take a guess. Okay. The new Satyagraha. And what do we get for you? In effort to establish India as an economically and culturally social state, and the respected president of the Congress declared in his speech the need for direct action, that the Indian masses, in cooperation with the Congress, the National Army, and the government, must work to fully lift themselves from Western British cultural imperialism. The General Secretary has cited as an example the People Anti-English Uprising in 1857 and 1907, and the Gandhian Satyagrahas, calling on the Indian people to bring about a new satyagraha, leading to the total destruction of John Bull within the country. In response to this call of arms, Indian people have arisen and with support of Congress have taken to the streets in an effort to rebuild India from the ashes. In the process, destroying all the remains of the nation's colonial past. I don't know what the John Bull reference is. This is now, I think, the second or third time we've seen it. Obviously, John Bull is the British. But I don't know why it's John Bull. If you know why, I would love to hear in the comments. So revolutionary stability 29%. Revolutionary fervor is at 15%. Chambridge collaborators meet with Belisana members. So 25% chance. We'll see how well that goes. But you know what? We'll go 1 and 2. And I think we've gotten a bad one. Like many revolutionary states, India has its own ideological committed youth organization since the time of the revolution, known as the Belisana. Comprised by many to Komsomol, or to those with less favorable opinions of it, the Hitler Youth, the growing semi-paramilitary organization is a place for ambitious Indian youths loyal to the Republic and to the INC to come together and gain valuable skills in possible party and military duty. While loyal to the same ideals as Bose, however, the organization stands somewhat separately to him in the INC. Therefore, to bring them together, Bose recently presided over a meeting in Belisana to great fanfare. At the end of the meeting, Bose gave a rousing speech, first calling for the young Belisana members to work hard to contribute to the Indian Revolution. However, after this speech took a particularly belligerent turn, shifting to geopolitics, denouncing the British Empire, Western imperialism, and global capitalism, and calling for the young students to be ready to fight for the world revolution against colonialism. Unfortunately, it seems this impromptu part of the speech gone down very poorly. While few of the most ideologically committed members have received it enthusiastically, it has been reported that most have been put off by Bose's extreme rhetoric. Unfortunate. Okay, wait, is there there's a cult of personality here now as well. The Congress Indian Working Committee, or more towards Sahaja Bose. Currently, it is neutral. And as we get more towards Father of the Nation, training time goes down, and we get more troops. We're actually going to have a ton of troops, and 10% more attack. Whereas if we go more towards the committees, consumer goods, construction speed, daily support for revolutionary communism, and then fuel gain per oil. I mean, going more towards the working committee actually does seem much better than the Father of the Nation. I mean, they both give you benefits, which is nice, as opposed to usually where there's like one benefit and then one downside. But I mean, first among equals, more support for the ideology, more less consumer goods, construction speed goes up, fuel gain per oil. That does actually sound pretty nice. So, but we'll kind of see. We'll maybe have to flip flop a little bit here. But I would not mind going more towards the committees on this one. But now I do want to go for leader of the unfree world. I want to see if we can support some more revolutionary movements across Africa and Asia, wherever else we deem it necessary. And where is your supply hub? They're way back in Tehran. So no wonder these German troops like don't have supplies. It'd be surprising to imagine that they would have supplies given the context. Okay, more people are declaring war on Burma. I mean, here's the funny thing, is that Burma is, in my sphere. I do want to help them out in some capacity. Do more peasant agitation. Influence is still pretty low. And the Central Asian War. Following a Soviet invasion of the self-proclaimed Turkestan Republic, other parts of the Central Asia region have also been destabilized. The massive refugees, a breakdown of de facto zones of control, have all led to an all-out military conflict between the local regimes. Okay, so you guys have now all declared war on one another. We'll see who ends up being on top in that. Resource at 5. Currently at stage 0. Indian donation plus 30. I mean, that would be nice to have. I'm not doubting that. Okay, you've actually been pushed back a little bit, but that's okay. King Tribhuvan calls for an invasion of Nepal. Even in India, most people do not think much of Nepal. A geopolitical oddity at best, and a leftover British imperialism at worst. Nepal is mostly known for its beautiful scenery, extremely religious population, and, less positively, its autocratic dictatorship. The Rana dynasty, which has exerted a de facto absolute power over Nepal since 1846, has recently escalated its repressions to an alarming extent. While peaceful protesters went out on the streets not 2 years ago, they were met with bullets and bayonets, with an unknown number of deaths. Since then, the country's monarch, King Tribhuvan, has lived in exile in India, along with several other opposition leaders, where they have received support and diplomatic recognition from the Indian government. Today, with protests again covering the country, King Tribhuvan has begun publicly calling for the protesters to oppose the Ranas by any means necessary, including violence, and has called for the Indian military to intervene. While the government has not yet responded to these pleas, there are few who cannot call themselves sympathetic. After all, many remember the horrible period during the War of Independence, in which our people were imprisoned simply for the crime of loving their country. For now, however, we must wait until to see what happens before we take any steps to restore the legitimate government. Perhaps we shall consider it. I mean, I wouldn't mind getting a little puppet state in Nepal. You know, having an ally in the Himalayas, another ally that would possibly border China, I think would be a positive geopolitical move. But for now, I think it's also going to be a good time for us to end this episode. So if you have enjoyed, remember thumbs up. Not enjoying, you can always thumb down. You want to see more, subscribe, and goodbye.